Hey, it's Chuck Ambrose on the campus of the University of Central Missouri, and it's a Snapchat takeover. A lot of help from university relations and friends that do social media every day, and grateful to have this opportunity to engage with you over the next hour. If you have questions, make sure to send them in, and towards the end of this 45 minute conversation, we'll get to your questions and look forward to having this talk. You're in the President's office here in Hendricks Hall. Not everybody knows where that is, and you're always invited to come by. Let me know how things are going and if there's any way the University of Central Missouri can make your experience better. So Shay, thanks for asking about the billboards, especially when you're coming into Warrensburg and the mule's so prominent, and mules and jennies. So tonight at 5 o'clock in the multi, let me make a special invitation for you to join us and have a campus and community-wide celebration of a national championship. There'll be a lot of opportunities to see the Gens and have an opportunity to engage with them and also congratulate them on a national championship. So Kimberly has a question regarding public safety. With the recent events around the country, how is our public safety, police, and student teams equipped to deal with an active shooter or other violent threats? Are there any current changes in the works to make UCM a safer campus regarding these issues? So Kimberly, public safety is probably the number one priority for campuses because of our duty to maintain a safe environment for all students, faculty and staff and community, and we work very closely with local law enforcement. Certainly the sensitivity on campus leadership to do that is at a high level. We work with FEMA. We just finished our latest severe weather tabletop exercise. We paid attention to it in many ways, but I want to really thank the Mule Skinner, sitting here with Leah, who, along with her colleagues, have just put out a campus-wide survey on campus security. We really want campus to take advantage of Campus Eye because it's one of the real tools that we have available to keep campus safe, as well as tuning in to our Textcaster. So Kimberly, with all those tools coming together, Textcaster, Campus Eye, tabletop exercises, working with local law enforcement, campus security becomes a responsibility that we all share. If you see something, say something. And we are going to continue to put resources, time, and effort into making sure that we're equipped and prepared to keep campus safe. And it's a great question, and one we'll continue to pay increasingly amounts of attention to. So Madison, school's canceled this afternoon because it's going to rain. I know, I'm only kidding. You've asked a question of how we make the decisions to cancel school. And there's a committee that works both from Lee Summit with local law enforcement and weather resources, and here on campus with FPO and public safety. And all that information we typically try to bring together every morning before we make a decision around 5 a.m. The one interesting dynamic now is that with public schools, they're canceling maybe perhaps a little quicker because of bus transportation and temperatures. We don't make our decision based on what public schools do. It's just a whole different dynamic. It's hard decisions, but it'll start usually in Lee Summit because weather comes from west to east. And then we take information in here, and between the provost, public safety, FPO, and Lee Summit, we come together and make the best decision we can. So Madison, just a little bit more about weather. It's a secret, but the president does really love snow days. But this year it really hasn't snowed, and the toughest days to make a decision are freezing rain and ice. And really want to thank FPO and our public safety staff, and then students, faculty, and staff for their understanding, because those are always hard decisions and one we take very seriously. So thanks for asking about it. So Marie, you've asked a question that I'm very much now going to try to find the answer, which I don't know. Do we have underground tunnels on campus? And if we do, nobody's told the president, which is really kind of a little disheartening to me, because if we did, that would be pretty cool. There are campuses that have tunnel networks, especially to the Great North and in the Great Plains, where weather really is an impact. There is steam tunnels. I've never crawled down in one, but perhaps that may be what the underground is saying. But if I find out that we have them and nobody's told me, it could be a bad day. So Brendan's asked if incoming students should join Greek Life, and as I tell every prospective student, the more actively you engage in college, the more likely you are to be successful, and Greek Life is one way to actively engage. We have a very positive Greek Life, from MPHC to Panhellenic to IFC. They are, in some ways, setting a positive agenda for Greek Life that where on the national level there are serious questions about, is Greek Life healthy? And I think that's something that all of our Greek organizations ask themselves all the time. Are we doing Greek Life appropriately? And we're proud of our leadership. We're proud of the philanthropy, the service, the school spirit it generates. And I would say that is absolutely one way that you can make UCM a more fuller experience. Rye Loves Riska has asked if we can bring the petting zoo back, that it was a highlight from last semester. And I think absolutely. You know, there's a lot of history that would say that especially the south side of campus was a petting zoo. The Nickerson Farm, the Houks Farm, that was all farmland that was donated back to the university. And so when we bring things like petting zoos and animals to campus, they've been here before. And any opportunities to engage and have some fun around school and then some fellowship around animals, I think that's a great idea. So Rye Loves Riska, thanks again for asking that question. With all of the activities that happens, let me give a real shout out to Spotlight. You can go to UCMO/Spotlight, and it gives you an opportunity to know that there may be 5 or 6 weeks left in this semester, but a lot of activities to engage with that many of them you'll be surprised we can pack in before that first weekend in May in commencement. So the question's been asked, are we cutting some programs at the university, kind of what's up with that? And it's a really important question because, as you know, we're having some fiscal challenges as a state. Those are having an impact on the university. We have to maintain our affordability, so we can't increase tuition just to generate more dollars. So there's 3 big objectives. One is to preserve the student experience and really protect academic programs and our faculty as much as we possibly can. The Board of Governors has asked us to provide a sustainable platform for the future, and that's really what most of these decisions are based on. How do we have a platform to move forward from rather than backwards? Certainly it may have some structural changes to administrative efficiencies, but the most important element is some really big changes coming to impact student success and an investment to help you have a better experience while maintaining your cost. Especially to students asking questions about where we are and where we're headed. We'll have a chance to talk about that on April the 3rd at 7 o'clock in the Union. We're going to have a specific student forum just about where the institution is and some of the budget decisions we're making, and most importantly what those budget decisions will have as an impact on us holding your costs down, but also keeping the quality of your education high. So 2 interesting questions. Nathan has asked about chicken nuggets on campus. And I would heartily recommend Chick-fil-A, because if you need chicken nuggets, and I'm not certain how we rotate chicken throughout all of our dining facilities, that certainly would be my favorite stop. And then Miss Perfect Fourth has asked if I could vacation anywhere in the world, what 3 places would I go? And after coming back from a partnership in Nepal, I would go back to Nepal. Never thought in my life I would see Mount Everest with my own eyes. Now I want to go back and touch it, feel it, and go back. Certainly after this winter, maybe a warm weather spot. Never been to the Caribbean, so maybe perhaps that would be a place. And the last go-to spot I'll go to Colorado any day for a great vacation. So thanks for asking. So 39 days till graduation as we're counting it sitting right here. It is absolutely my favorite day on a college campus because it's a celebration like no other. And the advice that I would give is exactly what you'll do, is to take a great degree, the relationships that have defined your experiences here, and go use them to make a difference for others. Because getting beyond yourself, being educated with a college degree, and the responsibility and privilege that gives you in the world ahead puts you into a place to be competitive. And then always remember UCM is home, and you can come back and ask for help and assistance and connectivity, alumni relationships. So that advice would be, take what you've been given here and use it for the betterment of others, and you'll make a difference in other people's lives. Bethany, you've made a decision to come to the University of Central Missouri next fall, and we're so glad that you chose Red. Congratulations. There's a whole process along with your admissions representative that can help you through this. One simple way of accepting that is making sure you've applied for your financial aid and turning in your FAFSA. That housing deposit is important, but that ongoing contact with admissions will let us know that not only have you received an offer, but you've accepted it, and we're going to have a great start to next fall semester. So we are really glad you chose Red, Bethany. So an important question has been asked that probably you all care about is tuition going up next year. And the state of Missouri for the last decade has made a commitment to keeping your costs low. And the University of Central Missouri has honored that in a way that has held costs below the national average. Over the last 8 years, we've only increased tuition about 1.3%, which is dramatically low up against our peers in the Midwest and below the CPI. And I can tell you we will do that again this next fall. So with all the fiscal challenges from the state budget, we're going to maintain our commitment to affordability and hold costs down. That decision will be made in April by the Board of Governors, but it's a job that's very important to us and the entire campus, and thanks for that question. I've got to say thank you to University Relations because they won't really give me direct access to Snapchat. And since this may be my one and only chance, we thought we would perhaps give you a little tour of the office and some things that mean something. You know, I thought about coming to University of Central Missouri in 2010. There's a few mementos that do have purpose. Back for the inauguration, when I first came, Greek Life committed all of their fall activities to community service, and 4,000 hours is something they've stayed consistent with, and really meant a lot to be welcomed into a community by virtue of students getting beyond themselves doing community service. So one that'll always be a highlight is the partnership with McGowan Gordon and Gould Evans. And although I don't wear hard hats very well, this was from the groundbreaking of the crossing, which was the largest capital project in the university's history and still having an impact today. And so that's one of those that you'll always remember, that the Board of Governors and the campus community came together and did something special. So as a college president, I'm going to reach down to a picture. I was president of Pfeiffer University for 12 years. This was a photograph that was taken by George Pfeiffer. He was great-grandson to really the legacy philanthropy that drove that institution. He took this picture and then he drove across country and brought it to me along with a $1 million check to help us build a new science building. And that personal commitment and that connection to family and then what philanthropy truly means, that's one picture I always keep in my office. So today I think it'd be most appropriate to just say that as we'll celebrate a national championship, it is nice the president of the university has an opportunity to have a memento of what's now 5 national championships since 2010. 2 in women's track, 1 in men's basketball, women's soccer, and now the Jennies basketball. So although we're saying hashtag Year of the Gens, we've still got baseball and track and a lot of other sports left for the spring. Who knows, there could be 6. Finally, one of the highlights that have been in place since 2011 was the support of the Lumina Foundation and Kauffman Foundation in being really the original partners of the Missouri Innovation Campus. And we hosted a national convening that brought experts from around the country, and it helped really provide the launch of what is today the only K-16 accelerated pathway with 3-year paid internships known as the Missouri Innovation Campus. So that's one picture that I'll always look back on and say that we were all a part of starting something special here at the University of Central Missouri. Thanks for joining us on this Snap. As I said, I may not be allowed to be on Snapchat again, so this was a lot of fun, and I hope we gave some good information. If you do want to stay in contact, it's really easy. Ambrose at ucmo.edu, AMBROSC at ucmo.edu. Or if you stay on Twitter, UCM Ambrose, and I'll DM you, and we can stay in contact. Or you can also contact Kristen Plummer in the President's office, and we'll make any connections on campus that you need. So thanks for being a part of this today, and let's have a great end of the semester.